Today we're going to talk about how to quieten our mind, right? Because a lot of the time you will notice this pattern where you want to do something, but your mind will go against it. And an easy example I would give you of this is, let's say tomorrow morning you decide to wake up at 5:30 a.m. for something that you have to do, let's say a project, or you just need to get up at that time to be productive, right? And instead of waking up at the time, your alarm rings at 5:30, you check it and you're like, man, I'm kind of tired. Turn it off, you put it down, and then you wake up a couple of hours later and you think, man, I should have woken up early. What's wrong with me, right? And so that's the thought that you have because you're entangling the mind with yourself, right? And so I'm going to discuss a key misconception which most people have when it comes to the mind, right? Most people think that I am the mind. They believe that they are the thinkers. They think that they are in charge of everything, right? Let me ask you a simple question. Are you the person that grows your nails? Are you the person that grows your hair? Right? It's a simple question, but some people are going to be like, what type of question is that? You know what I'm saying? And so it's the same with your mind as well. You're not the thinker of your mind. Your mind simply thinks. And it's you, your essence, that gets entangled within those thoughts. And the way you can recognize this pattern is by doing that. Right? Everything on these lines are your labels. It's the ego. It's a lot of the stuff which keeps you trapped into a box, right? And what I'm here to tell you is that the fact that this exists is not a bad thing, right? Just because we have egos and labels and defense mechanisms and stuff like that doesn't mean that it is a bad thing. You've got to realize, just because you have these labels and ego defense mechanisms and everything like that, you need to realize that these are not bad, right? By no means these are bad. You need to realize that these are merely created by responses that are disproportionate to reality, right? One example I will give you is of myself, right? When I was in school, when I was like, let's say 14 years old, I used to not be that cool kid, right? Everyone wants to be like the cool kid. Everyone wants to be like kind of popular or not be seen as socially weird. Well, I was that socially weird person in school, right? And so what used to happen was I didn't want to be that. I wanted to be more social. I wanted to be like the popular kids that they got to do everything and stuff like that. But I wasn't really that. So I wanted to change myself. I changed the way I speak. I changed the way I dress. I changed my hairstyle. And what essentially happened from that is I developed a sense of some ego, some label that was clouded, right? This is me. This is like the pure essence of me. And it was merely clouded by everything which is there, right? And what happens when you get clouded and clouded? You don't realize the essence of you, right? And the essence of you is not your body, right? You are not your body. You are not your thoughts. You are not the mind. You are simply someone that observes these things. And when it comes to that, you actually tap into something which is very different. And instead of conceiving the world from I am the mind, you go to something called I have a mind, right? Instead of thinking that I am the mind and I'm thinking these thoughts, why am I thinking these thoughts? Instead of seeing yourself like that, you simply see yourself as someone that has a mind. And that mind is there for you to operate from and not really to use it in a way to criticize yourself or to pull yourself back down, right? And so when you get to that mindset, what essentially tends to happen is you tend to use your mind rather than your mind using you in a way. And so the main sort of point which I want to give you in order to quieten the mind is essentially whatever you're feeling right now, whatever thoughts are popping up, right? Separate your thoughts from your feeling, right? Because what tends to happen is we try to get entangled in our thoughts, but thoughts are merely something which give you a signal. It's like an alarm that there is a feeling present and you need to pay attention to that feeling, right? Because thoughts, right, they're kind of like files. I'll just put it here. Thoughts are kind of like just files, and these are like folders, right? What happens if you delete a folder from your computer, right? I'm just giving you like a general example. If you delete a folder, right, if you just rub it off, your files rub off as well because your files are stored within your folder, right? And so think of your feelings as folders and your thoughts as files. And so if you delete the folder, the files will be all deleted themselves. And what I mean by this is you need to separate what you are feeling on an internal level compared to what thought you are having about a certain thing. So let's say, for example, I'm just going to give you my example again, because that just happened like a few weeks ago. I was in class, right? And I had my phone on me, and I wasn't really supposed to be on my phone in class. And so what happened was there was a lot of people that were like focused on their work, and it was very, very, very quiet. And I was on my phone. It was like probably, I don't even know, some volume. I wasn't really supposed to have it on. I go on to, I think, YouTube, I turn it on, and all of a sudden, I don't even know how, there's like a YouTube short playing, and it's loud, bro. It's like everyone's looking at me, everyone's laughing. Like, I'm in shame. I'm like, yo, why did that happen? Everyone's laughing. You ever had that moment when you like play music out loud when you're not supposed to? So it's the same thing, and you feel that sort of shame. But in that moment, the thought was, these people are laughing at me, the teacher's laughing at me, or this is happening. And the feeling behind the thought was shame, right? And so, to give you my sort of perspective, right? The thought was me on my phone, and other people are like just here, they're just laughing at me, right? But the feeling behind all of this is shame. I felt ashamed that I had my phone and it was loud, and I was the only person on my phone as well. And it kind of made me feel ashamed, right? And so with that being said, what you need to realize from all of this is, in order to change that feeling, you can't really change it and go about, why am I feeling shame? Change the shame. I'm not going to feel shame anymore. It's just to accept what is happening, accept the circumstances that you're in. Now, I'm not saying you agree with those. I'm not saying you acceptance doesn't mean you are, yes, this is happening to me, this is so nice. You just see it for what it is, right? That is what acceptance is. Accept and surrender. Accept and surrender how you're feeling about that thing, right? You can't really change it. So the best thing you can do in order to change it, listen to what I'm saying. The best thing you can do to change it is to just focus on it and don't do anything about it. Just let it be. Process it. Because a lot of the times we don't really let ourselves process the feelings that we are going through. Rather, we would rather change them. If you're feeling some sort of anger, we would rather change it and feel something else, right? And so it's the same with this. You merely need to, any feeling that you have, any feeling, don't even label the feeling. Oh, I'm feeling anger mixed with sadness. Don't really do anything, right? And so I hope this video helped you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.